I've been incredibly critical of Microsoft lately, and I know some people don't like that, and I get it. At the end of the day, it sort of is what it is. But for me personally, I feel like Microsoft has dropped the ball repeatedly, and it came out, and I did a video on this, like a live stream earlier. They gave up the Alan Wake rights. I get it. Phil Spencer, I'd long said, I'd heard, didn't like Alan Wake. He thought it was a bad game or whatever. It wasn't his cup of tea. To me, I believe that they didn't see that as being a big moneymaker in Game Pass, and so that's why they were able to give up the rights or whatever. That doesn't make sense to me anyway. You've got to cater to more than just people that play online. Just because a game might not be able to make you, a games as a service type money doesn't mean that you shouldn't fund it. You got to be able to take some chances there as well. So to me, very much disappointed with that. But at least the good news is we might actually finally see a sequel to Alan Wake, which gets me very, very excited. And hopefully we would actually be able to get one sooner rather than later. I wouldn't put it past them to be able to get a sequel out to that franchise before we see something from like a new AAA IP from one of Microsoft's new studios that they just recently bought. So it wouldn't shock me at all. But again, that's just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. With that being said, I kind of want to jump into what I want to talk about, which is largely opinion-based. But Sony made big waves the other day. They're looking in closely to work with big publishers. A spokesperson for Sony said Sony will still welcome smaller independent studios with the PS5, but the company believes that big-budget titles are the games that people buy consoles for, and as such, that's where Sony will concentrate its efforts. And this is also the line of thinking that applies to Sony's own exclusive projects, which will also be a focal point on PS5, which I will link this and you guys can check it out. I've talked about this a couple of other times as well, but it just goes to show you the differences between Xbox and PlayStation, the values, who they respect as their core gamer, and as who they respect most as their customer. Right, as a customer, I don't feel respected by Phil Spencer, where he's up there putting his nose up in the air saying, we don't even care if you buy our product. It doesn't matter because we make money off the software and services. That doesn't thrill me. With the fact that they haven't announced a new single player or a new AAA IP since 2015. They haven't released a new single player IP or AAA IP since 2016, 3 and 4 years respectively, and there's nothing even announced. So who knows when the next time we'll get one. They don't nurture their IP. They're extremely quiet. You notice how Phil and company are always on the airwaves for little things, right? And now when big news like this comes out, like they give up the publishing rights to Alan Wake, now conspicuously they're nowhere to be found when the fans are upset. And that just goes to show you that's par for the course for Microsoft. I always find it to go into events with Microsoft with a glass half empty type of feel, because I feel like that's how they sort of that's how they do things, right? Like I will never be in a situation where I'm a glass half full guy with Microsoft anymore. It doesn't make sense to do that, as you always end up disappointed in the long run. So very disappointed, to say the least, that Microsoft has decided to kind of take this route, giving up IPs that the companies were begging Microsoft to make these games, right? Begging Microsoft to make an Alan Wake 2, begging Microsoft to make a Sunset Overdrive 2. And what do we get? We get nothing. So, yeah, very, very disappointed with this. Let me know how you guys feel. I would appreciate it. Love all the support. You guys have been amazing. You guys are rock and rollers, man. I appreciate it. Rock on. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.